interruption in the stream. We had a little technical difficulty there, but I am back. This is Booth 31 Gaming, established 984 AD, the internet's original streaming channel. Today is Mystery Monday, featuring Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. This is our last case. This will be our last case. We've done the fate of Black Peter. We've done the Riddle on the Rails, Bloodbath, Gabby Grange affair, the Kew Gardens drama. All that is left is the Half Moon Walk. Okay, we are ready. Let's go.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We have. Where to?
To the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Solve the crime at Half Moon Street. Investigate the crime scene and talk to witnesses at Half Moon Street. Interrogate Leighton and examine his belongings at Scotland Yard. Let's see what our chronicle says about us. Personality ranking, sympathizing. Miss White is a desperate woman. This was our last case. A victim of society. When Dunn cast her aside, her life stopped. She killed him in pure desperation with the help of Martin Hamish. She was the one who locked the door of the Colonial Collection Room directly after Hamish released the caterpillars. She did not deserve such a terrible fate. Yeah, and Hamish killed himself, that's right. Found all the clues. Came to the correct assumption. And chose to absolve Miss White. Sympathizing. correct conclusions, and I found all the clues. That's good so far. Souvenir from this last case was a deadly plant from Kew Gardens. Goes along with a silver fork with the Abbey Grange coat of arms, the silver knife from the silver cast of the Mithras ritual knife, the train whistle, and a harpoon that was used to kill Black Peter. We have 3 more character portraits to get from that'll be from this case. Okay, let's take a look around the room real quick. There's probably there's a letter. Albert Dunn's confession. Albert Dunn. I am writing to express my appreciation for your striking at the truth of this horrible case. At first I could not imagine how Miss Margaret White, such an exceptional and beautiful woman, could plan and commit such a dreadful murder with that fellow Hamish. I thought she was absolved of the case. I wouldn't have thought that would have been. I wouldn't have thought Holmes would have told anybody of that. How angry I was. But when I attempted to put myself in her shoes, I began to understand. As talented and beautiful lady as Miss White was, she evidently could not complete her studies without money, while my father was living his high life, deficient in human sympathy. Thank you for your kindness towards her. She is no longer here, and I already miss her. Yours sincerely, Albert Dunn.
This is where I keep my post.
Actually, I want to go over to the makeup table, get a hat. There it is. The classic Holmes deerstalker hat. There's a bowler. He's got a top hat too. There's a newsboy hat. Can't tell what that is. There's no way to. There's no way to move him around. Okay, want the deerstalker, the kind of the classic Holmes look. Oh, I can't have the I cannot have the deerstalker at the moment. Well, that stinks. Was getting ready to go to a fancy dinner, I ought to wear that. But I can't have the deerstalker. Yeah, all these are locked. The top hat isn't locked though. I'll wear the top hat. Top hat goes well with a nicer suit like that. Take another quick look around Watson's room real quick for the moment. let's go to Half Moon Street.
Holmes, poor little Wiggins needs our help.
Oh, you just want to get out of eating all that disgusting food.
Locked.
Trying to remember which is for first person here. Oh, no, don't exit. Gameplay. No, that's not it. How to play. There we go. R toggles between the first and third person view. Dysentery at St. Adolphus Orphanage.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes. Is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving.
No character portrait for him.
Who were the victims?
The two men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Mr. Holmes, I had no doubt about this case, but now that you are here... Mr. Holmes, I had no doubt about this case, but now that you are here...
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
A fairly long pole with a forked end. A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vacotti must have done some time there. He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant. The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound. Brian Vacotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die. Brian Vacotti.
Mr. Holmes, I had no doubt about this case, but now that you are here...
The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance. This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
My Sherlock eye. I bet it has something to do with this. No. Yep, stuck object. Piece of wood.
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look. This shard of wood is quite new. Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And, well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story?
Here's a character portrait for us. You got 3 things to find out about Mr. Turner here. Has to lean against something. I've got a weak leg. Crimean War veteran. And he's poor, as if living around here didn't make that abundantly clear.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw two bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Now that's interesting because the detective said he couldn't hear the shots over the fireworks.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the two shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment. Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
I'm so glad that the murderer has been caught.
We have deductions to make, alright. Mr. Turner heard two different consecutive shots. The second was louder than the first. Two victims, Brian Vercotti and Kenneth Butler, were both found shot in the dark and narrow Half Moon Street, which is located between Great Alley and Whitechapel High Street. Turner's view. Mr. Turner stated he remained near his window until Layton was caught by the police when he came from the direction of Whitechapel High Street. Constable Merrill paid attention to Mr. Turner's window while he was running past the dead bodies. He did not observe anyone next to the window. It was dark there. Conflicting statements. Mr. Turner stated he remained at the window of his flat until police arrived. However, this is in conflict with Merrill's statement, as the constable did not see anyone at the window.
Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he all right?
Had to get some Advil real quick. Listen, are you, Mr. Turner? Okay. High Class Thornton Shoe Repair, Half Moon Street. Polly Powell. Forgot about her.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
No character portrait for her.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Okay, investigate the crime scene, talk to witnesses is complete. Center and Company Furniture.
This mirror is turned towards Half Moon Street.
So I'm not finished collecting. There was still evidence to collect here, okay. Maybe there's more. Okay, nothing else going on that way.
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he all right?
Yeah, this is the direction I came from. Is your mind open to communication with the denizens of the spirit world? Circus. Find out on Thursday. Public meeting. There will be a public meeting will be held on Thursday, the evening 20th, in St. Dred Scott case. I'm not missing something. I almost missed that mirror earlier.
A fairly long pole with a forked end.
Object of interest. Okay, now we will go to Scotland Yard and talk to the young man who has been accused. The man who is sus. Nope, none of their other clues go together yet.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Mr. Holmes, what is the trouble with that lad? Isn't he guilty of murder? Mr. Holmes, what is the trouble with that lad? Isn't he guilty of murder?
We shall see, Lestrade. We shall
I'm
see.
always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Shapes of noses. Okay, nothing going on down here at the moment. Room. Let's see what we've got here now. First of all, Leighton's gun.
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. Two out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
Okay, that's enough of that.
2 out of a cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
Layton was holding a revolver with 2 fired cartridges when he was caught after the crime in Half Moon Street. Mr. Turner heard 2 different shots. Layton Chapman had nothing valuable in his possession when he was caught by police. Compelling evidence. The witness testimonies on the crime weapon clearly point to one possible culprit, Layton Chapman. Not yet. Still got something to connect with. two to go together. Simultaneous shots. Turner could hear the contrast between two fired shots, as in 3 shots were made. At first, a single shot was fired, then 2 guns fired simultaneously directly afterwards. Turner could hear the contrast between 2 fire shots, as they were made from different points in Half Moon Street. Interesting. There's more, apparently. Okay. No, those don't go together. 2 victims, that's wrong. 2 victims go together. Double murder. Kenneth Butler and Brian Vercotti were the victims of a double murder carried out by one person. Okay, all the rest of this is... Nope, still more. Why does that stay? Usually that goes away when there's... So that contradicts the other one. Okay, now...
Mr. Holmes? Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Okay, let's get a character portrait. 4 things to discover here. Deep scar, occasional fights. This young man grew up on the streets. Recent beating, resisted arrest, hot-headed. Fancy scarf, cushy job, office clerk. Prison tattoo. Tattoo from the same prison one of the victims was in.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a 3rd person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the 3rd man.
That was stupid.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering now. But at the time, it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Mr. Holmes?
Okay, more clues to look at. Leighton Chapman stated he saw a person leaning over a dead body just as he entered the scene. Leighton took a gun from the body and set off in pursuit of the man, but he was blinded by a flash of bright light. Brian Vercotti is an old acquaintance of Leighton Chapman. They were both imprisoned for a robbery while still young men, but their paths diverged after their release. Leighton Chapman is the only person who was seen entering Half Moon Street after Brian Vercotti and Kenneth Butler, and he was seen standing over dead bodies and escaping the crime scene shortly thereafter. Personal motive. The violent crime committed in Half Moon Street by Leighton Chapman could have had a personal motive. Imaginary ordinary man, the person whom Leighton Chapman describes in his statement as a figment of his own imagination created to vindicate himself. Maybe that's better. I can already make the accusation of Mr. Chapman. Condemn Chapman. Leighton Chapman may be young, but he is already a vicious murderer who killed a prison acquaintance over a long-standing grudge. He deserves life imprisonment. Well, that's better than hanging. Absolve Chapman. Despite committing murder, Leighton is a young, albeit foolish and impressionable young man. His younger brother, Wiggins, would be left completely alone. Leighton's sentence will be shortened. No. Continue the investigation. We are not through with this case yet. Although we could come to a very quick ending of this.
Mr. Holmes?
I was hoping in this case we might get to go up the stairs. But I guess not. The officers who's usually here isn't anymore.
Mr. Holmes?
So, let's see. Solve the crime at Half Moon Street. Talk to Mr. Turner and check the view from his flat. There should be something to explain his contradictory statements. There was a possible crossfire between Kenneth Butler and Brian Mercati at Half Moon Street. Examine the dead bodies and perform a reenactment. So we'll be going back to Half Moon Street. Dialogue. Mr. Turner says he was standing near the window of his flat the entire time, but according to Constable Merrow's statement, Turner's window was dark. Leighton Chapman is in his 20s and is Wiggins' older brother. Growing up on the streets and being a hot-headed lad, he committed a crime for which he served time in Westgate Prison. He is currently detached from his past street life and is probably working somewhere as an office clerk. Ryan Turner is around 60 years of age. He is a veteran of the Crimean War, a fact of which he's proud. His leg was most likely injured during this war, and he has been limping since then. Mr. Turner lives there. Back to Half Moon Street we go. Those two clues don't go together. So we continue.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
So am I, Watson. So am I.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours.
One of the victims probably fired his gun twice. Find out who it might have been. Select the gunman. twice, there would be a bullet.
I am
on the
unable
wall.
to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
Gee, what did we find over here earlier that could lift a lamp? We'll do that in a minute, though. Don't need to examine that wall yet.
This should be useful. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here.
Maybe I need to do this a different way. Bullet impact.
This is most definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Watson, there was a third shot fired in this street.
Reenact crossfire at Half Moon Street captured. Now, third shot. A bullet hole found in the wall at Half Moon Street proves the event of a third shot. Those two go together now. Mr. Turner stated he remained at the windows flat. No, that's not the one. This one. Here it is. Crossfire. Kenneth Butler and Brian Vercotti both died of crossfire. With each of them holding a gun, one of the guns is now missing. Kenneth Butler and Brian Vercotti were the victims of a double murder carried out by one person. I couldn't see crossfire. Disappearing man. Leighton Chapman's statement regarding the jacketed man who disappeared at Half Moon Street now seems reasonable, as the three shots at the crime scene prove the presence of a second gun that is now missing. Reenact Morrow's pursuit with a lamp now. Maybe we'll go talk to Mr. Turner first. See about his conflicting statements.
Mr. Turner, you have stated that you remained close by your window after the crime. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your window?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.
Mr. Turner appears to live very modestly. This fire is dying out. It was last tended to over an hour ago.
Sherlock eye here. Burnt paper.
The papers are almost entirely burned. I am unable to see what's written here. These words are illegible. The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
Interesting.
The books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here a short while ago. A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victims. Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots. So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Brian Vercotti's contorted corpse. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman standing over them.
Anything else you would like to know, Mr. Anything else you would like to know, Mr. Holmes? Anything else?
Examine the kitchen table now.
This kitchen knife is quite sharp.
Sherlock eye. Sweepings. Shredded paper.
There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. His kitchen knife was used to cut the paper.
Anything else you would like to know, Mr. Holmes?
Determine the correct sequence based on the details. Well, obviously he had to get up from the bed first. That has to be the last part.
No, it didn't happen this way. Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots.
Okay, he gets up from the bed, took his stick, approached the body. No, that's not right. He would have opened the window and looked down. Then he would have gone down and approached the body. That's number 4. Cutting the paper would be number 5. And then throwing something in the fire would be the final one. Now we watch the sequence. Fast forward.
So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find?
Use my Sherlock eye again. Books.
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look. Well now, what a find! A precious jewel, concealed inside a book.
Well, one of the victims was a jeweler.
A bracelet with a unique ram's head design, a distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
Okay, I get it now. He cut open the book. The paper cutting wasn't destroying a piece of evidence. It was, he had to cut open the book to create a hiding space for the piece of jewelry. You want to explain this?
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Oh, time can pull tricks on you.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
That's why it's better to stay at home at night.
You know, if it weren't for the fact that the kid in jail says he saw a third man, I'd say this was some sort of deal went wrong, a robbery or whatever, and the two men just shot and killed each other.
Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard?
Constable Marrow, I would value your assistance in this investigation.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street where a man could hide while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking, just as you did before, and try to find me.
Understood.
Where's the constable now?
I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
No, this is not how I walked at the time of the crime. I was more attentive. Let's start over again.
Oh, went the wrong direction.
I shouldn't look for Mr. Holmes here. He's hiding in Half Moon Street.
No, that was not the way. Let's go back this way.
No, this is not how I walked at the time of the crime. I was more attentive. Let's start over again. I shouldn't look for Mr. Holmes here. He's hiding in Half Moon Street. Here you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Sounds like a phone ringing.
Mr. Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation.
Okay. Corners in sight. No one could hide in the shadows of Half Moon Street, as a single run through this narrow street with a lamp would reveal its every corner. I disagree with that. I think I had to be pretty thorough. And if he was just... Maybe the constable was, though. 2 victims. Up the walls. If we could assume that no one would... There was more than one person in Half Moon Street at the time of the crime, then there was no way forward or back for his escape. Only up. Let us reenact the action. Recreate the fireworks described by Layton and attempt to climb the wall. Find the flare gun and climbing equipment. Oh yes, because he saw the bright flash. That's right. I don't remember him there last time I was through here. Hello, you. Search archives. An antique gold bracelet that was found in Mr. Turner's flat. It is decorated and distinctive. It is decorated with distinctive ram's heads. Solve the crime, investigate the ancient bracelet, and find the flare gun and emulate the fireworks. Okay. Whoa.
Locked.
A locked door. But the fact that it's there could mean it's possibly something later. Half Moon Street. Oh, the mirror.
This mirror is turned towards Half Moon Street.
I'd forgotten about the mirror. That could be something.
I suppose that I shall have to move my stool now. Such a young man, and already a murderer.
Oh, another door.
Locked.
And locked as well.
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
That's why it's better to stay at home at night.
It would be my...
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Find the flare gun to emulate the fireworks and tools for the climbing wall. So I assume those things are going to be here in the alley. Oh wait, I didn't notice that F come up there. Oh, maybe I hit that by mistake. Well, let's get a little help here. Just one second, everybody. Okay, I got my phone and I can search this. Oh, okay. I get those. I can't do that yet. Right now, it's time to return to Baker Street and investigate this piece of jewelry. Return to Baker Street. And there she still is.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Toby's in a different position.
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mop cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
That's an achievement for interacting with Toby in every case.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
There we go. These beautiful antique jewels represent a part of the Hellenistic treasure collection. Depicted are the 5 beads, the 5 heads of mountain rams upon a bracelet, necklace, and ring, each made of pure gold. The 5 rams of Milutin have been missing from the museum since 1885. I wonder if that's by chance a real. So apparently we're dealing with some stolen jewelry. I wonder if that's a real thing. The 5 rams of looks like it's probably not. No, apparently not.
Here it is. I need to continue my research in my archives.
Use articles about antiques.
That is not the one I need. 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 That is not the one.
Economics.
That is not the one I need. That is not the one I...
Missing since 1885, so...
That is not the one I need.
Hellenistic treasure stolen, that's it. The Hellenistic treasures were stolen yesterday evening while being transported by cab on their way from the British Museum to the Glassford Fine Art Exhibition. Pawn shop owner Kenneth Butler, our victim, contacted Scotland Yard that night and provided information regarding a gentleman who had attempted to sell him a collection of historical art at his pawn shop in Church Street. The police have since captured and described the man, a professional thief by the name of Vincent Foley, who had been in the process of escaping London via the port. He was recognized by the surviving driver of the cab that had transported the collection of Hellenistic treasures. Vincent Foley refused to confess as to the remainder of the treasures, as to where the remainders of the treasure were hidden. He was eventually imprisoned. The lost treasures are still to be found.
Here it is. One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
So to the pawn shop we go. Long lost art. The collection of Hellenistic treasures was stolen from the British Museum in 1885. It has not been found since and is considered to be lost. Watson's staying behind, apparently. Metal door key taken from the body of Kenneth Butler, probably the door to his shop. Treasures theft. Okay, that's the story of the treasures we just read. Tavern. Now let's take a look inside. I thought that was a man without a face for a second, but that's just the top of his bald head. Hello. Let's see where the pawn shop. Butler's pawn shop. Here we go.
Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
As one would expect. Shelves.
These tools are exactly what I need to climb the wall.
Mr. Butler won't be missing those. ourselves a flare pistol.
This is exactly what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
Okay, so we find the flare gun and the climbing equipment. Investigate the ancient bracelet and find out how it could have appeared at Half Moon Street. And then talk to the constable and get help recreating that. Flare pistol and flares in good working order. An ice axe and crampons, essential equipment for mountain climbing. Nothing else here at the shop. I thought there would have been more, probably to do with the, there we go. Examine the counter. The left drawer, a necklace.
The ram's heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 Rams of Mittelin collection. Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft.
And a letter. Hello, Kenneth. I remember you once told me about 3 pieces of golden jewelry with ram's heads from ancient Greece. You still got them, right? Well, good news for you. I found a man loaded with money who's crazy about those jewels. He's ready to fork out a small fortune. I can arrange a meeting with this money bag for you, but I want you to cut me in on the deal. I'll be waiting for you at the crossing of Great Alley and Half Moon Street on Sunday evening before the fireworks. Brian Verkades. So, the 2 gentlemen were in an illicit deal. An antique gold necklace with 2 ram's heads found at Kenneth Butler's pawn shop. Anything else here? The right drawer.
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
Okay, acquired into the bracelet completed. So now let's put some more clues together here. Butler's jewels. Kenneth Butler took a bracelet and possibly ring from the ancient jewel set, the 5 Rams of Medellin. He was arranging a deal with Brian Verkades that was to be discussed at Half Moon Street. No, those 2 do not go together. Okay, good. It goes with 2 victims. Burglary motive. The search for the missing Hellenistic treasure could be the motive for the crime that was committed in Half Moon Street. Mr. Turner picked up the bracelet directly after the murder, but the ring is still missing. Personal motive. The violent crime committed in the Half Moon Street by Leighton Chapman could have had a personal motive. I think it's burglary motive. Okay, so nothing else goes together. Let's get back to the crime scene then. Let's see what's on this wall here. Snoring. Apparently that man's asleep. Back to not the park. Half Moon Street.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
Get back to the constable now.
Why are you looking at me all the time like that?
I'm just watching you, lad. I never know what to expect from people like you.
People like me?
Yes, street beggars and thieves.
I ain't a thief.
Oh, no? Then where did you get whatever it is that you're gnawing on? I very much doubt that you bought it.
What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen.
Constable Marrow, Watson, I would like to perform another kind of reenactment with your help.
I'm listening, Mr. Holmes.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could vanish into thin air at a specific moment.
But Holmes, I don't see how.
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand, Holmes.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do exactly as you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr. Holmes.
Let us begin then. Catch me if you can.
Find a spot where a man might be able to climb a wall and remain unnoticed.
The moon illuminates this wall. Anyone trying to climb it would be easily spotted by Constable Marrow. This wall is cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone scaling it.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there?
I should try climbing faster.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there?
I should try climbing faster.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there? Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that. Holmes? Holmes? Where are you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen. I am up here, above your heads.
How on earth did you get up there, Holmes?
I am using crampons and a climbing axe, although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Gentlemen, I am on my way down.
Imitate the fireworks and determine the method of escape if completed. Inspect the attic.
This is the back door of the building with the attic floor that you required, Mr. Holmes.
It's empty. Someone broke through the window to get inside the attic, but in his haste, he ripped his jacket.
My Sherlock guy now. Shabby fabric, black threads.
A cluster of thick black threads. They're unusually strong. I should examine them under the microscope. These shards of glass are from the window above. We can conclude that the person whom Leighton saw climbed up the wall, broke into the attic window, and escaped through the hatch.
Wall climber, the man whom Leighton Chapman saw managed to hide from the other witnesses and escape Half Moon Street by climbing the wall of a building and entering its attic. That goes with Leighton's statement. Compelling evidence, the witness testimonies and the crime weapon clearly point to one possible culprit, Leighton Chapman. Or Leighton Chapman's statements regarding the mysterious jacketed man who participated in the shooting at Half Moon Street was proven to be true. That's our around here to find. So we found black threads taken from a jacket. Solve the crime of Half Moon Street. Well, we need to go back to Baker Street now. So now to the analysis table.
Let us take a closer look. It is not a thread, but a hair. I very much doubt that it is human. I need to compare this sample with a human hair and a horse hair. A shaving brush is usually made from horsehair. Watson, could you please pass me your shaving brush?
Here you are.
Watson, look, what's outside the window?
Well, I don't see anything. Ouch! Holmes.
Oh, don't make such a fuss. One little hair. Human hair is significantly thinner than the black sample. The horse hair is thinner than the hair that we found. So, this black hair belongs to an animal, and it is larger than a horse. A hair from a large and exotic animal. My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
What deductions do we have to make here? Exotic animal hair. Thick black hair found on the torn jacket. The jacket belongs to a man who nimbly escaped the crime scene. A circus acrobat. The man who vanished from the crime scene at Half Moon Street could be a circus acrobat. He managed to scale a 35-foot wall in a matter of seconds. A hair from a large exotic animal was found on his discarded jacket. It's a reasonable theory. Vanishing act. The person who was seen only by Leighton Chapman escaped the crime scene by climbing the wall. He was a skillful acrobat. The criminal took a gun from one of the dead bodies. So where do we go from here with that, I wonder? Request Wiggins' assistance in locating the right circus. So I suppose we're going back to...
Wiggins is currently at Half Moon Street.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
So back to Half Moon Street.
Wiggins, my lad, what are you doing here? You'd best be leaving and be quick about it.
I've done nothing wrong. You'd learn more by watching Mr. Holmes. He knows exactly what he's doing. Not like you.
Oi, watch your tongue. It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes?
We have good news for you, Wiggins. The investigation has proven very interesting so far. We found facts and details that confirm your brother's innocence.
I knew it, Mr. Holmes.
But for now, Wiggins, we need your help.
Anything you like, Gov.
I need you to locate a circus that has stopped over in London. It needs to have disposed of at least one exotic animal, a very large one.
You can count on me, Mr. Holmes.
Deductions. No. Okay, continue.
I do hope that those children don't get into trouble, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. I predict some news in 7 seconds.
Mr. Holmes, we found it. Here it is.
Duval Brothers' greatest show on earth. The marvelous dancing elephant.
And this is a young Indian elephant, the highlight of the show. Duval Brothers, a well-known traveling circus that is currently stopped in London. I believe that is exactly the type of circus we are looking for. I'll pay it a visit.
Doesn't seem Duval Circus was a real thing.
Aye, you! Stop right there.
Good morning, sir. Pardon me, but why am I not allowed to walk around here?
Because it's private.
Well, I only wanted to meet the artistes.
Hmm? You're wanting to apply for... Nah. You don't look like the type of, artistic lockpicker that we're looking for.
You might be surprised.
What? Nah. I don't think so. Clear off. You're a bit slow to catch on, eh? Get lost. You're a bit slow to catch on, eh? You're a bit slow to catch on, eh? Get lost.
Circus poster. Oh, okay. I need a disguise. Ensure that your makeup disguise is suitable for entering the circus. Facial hair, a seedy suit, and a hat should work very well. Back to Baker Street. I think this is only the second case I've had to wear disguise. The first one I did had to dress up as a sailor. Black suit, brown suit, green suit, gray suit, light suit, bandit outfit, farmer outfit, morning gown, sailor outfit, unbuttoned suit. Now to the makeup table. Okay, I did something. Doing something that's not available at the moment. So I need a hat of some sort. Makeup options. Oh, maybe it's the suit. Bandit outfit, since I'm trying to appear like somebody who picks locks.
Stay where you are. What are you doing here, and where is Sherlock Holmes?
Calm down, Watson.
Don't be a
Take deep
dummy,
breaths
Watson.
now. It's me.
Oh, thank God, Holmes. I can't get used to your disguises.
Thank you, Watson. That means I am ready to go.
Holmes,
It's all right.
Holmes, I won't be able to join you. I promised to visit a patient today.
It's all right, Watson. I think that I can handle this alone. Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mop cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister. A map of London.
And back to the circus.
Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Nigel. I'm here to open the locks.
Talented, eh? Let's see. Go inside the marquee and show yourself to Charles Foley. And I'd highly advise you not to trick him. Got that?
I've got it.
Now explore the circus.
Charles Foley is inside the marquee.
Everything is here, just as you asked. And what about the money?
Some of the barrels are wet.
Transportation issues, it couldn't be helped.
Whatever. We'll be here after midnight to pick up the supplies.
I want to be paid first.
No. You'll be paid after we make the transfer, as I said.
Right?
I hope that no one saw you. The police are on the lookout.
Of course not. I'm a professional.
Glad to hear it. Be ready for tonight, then.
That wasn't right. There's got to be something in here to just... examine the barrels, okay.
This wooden barrel is damaged. It is difficult to say what is inside. This wooden barrel is damaged. It is difficult to say what is inside.
More. The right spot there.
There is a spot on this barrel that was intentionally painted out.
I get the Sherlock eye going there.
The crest of the Honorable Artillery Company. Could it be gunpowder? I need to be sure.
There's got to be something else here to discover. Crack.
Judging by the fractions and the scent, I can confirm that it is, in fact, gunpowder. The barrels are roughly clustered. It seems as though they were brought in a hurry.
That's everything I need to discover there now. Circus and become acquainted with Charles Foley.
Charles Foley is inside the marquee.
What am I missing here? Printing press.
This printing press is old, but still quite capable of printing hundreds of pages per day. From lambs into lions, those are words of encouragement and defiance. That's a picture of a contemporary gentleman wearing a Robin Hood hat. Interesting. This poster was clearly made to fire up rebellion amongst the people. There are enough posters to paste across half of London's walls. Powder kegs, a printing press, and a great many blank papers. All of this was stolen by the Merry Men quite recently. And these poster samples. I am quite sure it is not a coincidence. The Merry Men are planning some sort of sabotage.
Stop right there. Who are you?
Are you Charles Foley?
Maybe.
They say that I can open any door.
Do they now? We'll see that lock near the chains on the table over there. Open that.
Character portrait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to discover about this guy. Nothing in his face. Protected scale, complex key, protected safe. He has a safe somewhere. Bloody bandages, recent trauma, maybe from climbing through that window that was broken. Quite a dangerous chap. He has the ring. He has the stolen ring. Taped fingers, agility practice. He's an acrobat.
Are you still temporary with that lock?
Let's put some clues together here now. Charles Foley has a valuable antique ramhead ring upon his finger. It is the last piece of the missing 5-ring Ramsden methylene jewel set. I was just wondering about the whole Merry Men thing that was brought up earlier in an earlier case. I guess we're going to bring that full circle now. Charles Foley is wearing a bulldog revolver beneath his belt. Put those two together. Man in jacket. Charles Foley wears an antique ring, the last missing piece of the 5 grams of methylene jewel set. He also has a revolver retained under his belt. It proves Charles Foley is our mysterious jacketed man who narrowly escaped the crime scene at Half Moon Street. Okay, let's take a look at this log. Another one of these little puzzles again. it is.
Ah, well, they're right. What's your name?
Nigel Shirley, from York.
Ah, Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
Nope, that's not it.
Ah, Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
It's a long story. I met your brother, Vincent the Butcher Foley, in prison. He told me all about his betrayal and all about you. Before I was released, he told me that you might find a job for me one day and pay me some money for me craft.
Well, he died. 7 days ago, in prison.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. The traitor has paid the blood price for it. And you'll do the job anyway, because I need a talented lockpicker. I know just where to search for his legacy.
It's all about the Hellenistic treasures, isn't it?
Osh, you fool. Now, listen up. You'll come with us tonight, and you better mind yourself.
Us? Wait, who's coming then?
Billy, Jack and me.
And what will I get for that?
We'll share the loot. The one you seem to know about.
Right.
Wait for us at the abandoned manor house on the corner of Ladbroke Grove and Kensington Park Road at midnight.
Deal.
Now to the Notting Hill Manor. Well, let's look at something here. Charles Foley is a member of and leader of the Duval Brothers Circus. He is a skillful acrobat who actively practices his craft. Foley is a superstitious man. He is armed and dangerous. He has a penchant for wearing jewelry. Rebel poster. Find and examine the secret lock at Nottingham Manor.
Here I am at the manor. Somewhere inside it are the Hellenistic treasures. This lock is quite old. It shouldn't be much of a challenge.
we go.
I need to find where the safe is hidden and lockpick it. This cupboard is an absolute mess. Several books have fallen from the shelves. It seems as though this cupboard can be moved. I'll give it a try.
And there's the safe.
So, that's the lock I must open tonight. Let me see.
Oh boy. This is going to be one of the... Oh no, it's one of these. Okay. That was going to be like one of those from the Kew Gardens. There we go. That's got the lock. And what have we got in here now?
What a surprise. Another lock. And I won't be able to pick it. I recall that precious key around Foley's neck. It might prove a decent fit. I suppose they hired me to only open the first lock. Let us wait for the thieves, trap them, and find out. Let us check the thieves' possible escape routes in the event that they are caught off guard by the police from the front door. What a surprise. This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency. Although this window is high above the ground, it would be possible for one of the thieves to attempt to use it for their escape. The thieves won't attempt to escape through the front door if the police are right behind it. The ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police.
To be doing here now.
This works very well. No one will escape through this window now.
Oh, so there's things around.
There is no ladder. If anyone falls here, he will need assistance to get out. This should be useful. The door is now blocked. The door is now blocked.
Now the upstairs window.
This is the perfect place to set a trap.
An item required for the top stair, okay.
This is...
What item?
This should be useful.
Beads for them to slip.
One step on these beads, and our thief will go flying. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined. Any thief who finds his way upstairs will roll down very quickly. I wonder what this old chandelier is doing on the floor. It looks as though it was poorly attached. I suppose that the thieves already tried to open the lock with this formidable hammer, but they were unsuccessful.
Item required for the chandelier.
The door is now blocked. This should be useful. Now, it's not an open hatch, just a nice carpet on the floor. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined. Now, if a thief runs through the kitchen, he'll pay a surprise visit to the cellar. The thieves won't attempt.
Still something else to do. Stove.
This should be useful. The door is now blocked. This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency.
Chandelier attached to the rope.
Now, if anyone takes the hammer, the rope will uncoil and make the chandelier fall.
And so, our imagination
If he
skill.
runs through the dining room and takes a sledgehammer to force open the door, the chandelier will knock him down. The traps for my circus companions are all prepared. I can leave now, but I'll return later with Charles Foley and his companions.
Police! Police!
Stop where you are!
Where are they?
Trapped, Watson, with your assistance.
How so?
You sounded just like a real Bobby, my dear fellow. You startled them into the traps.
I did?
I assure you, Watson, it was quite an entertaining show. They will not escape the house now.
You scum!
And this is the pistol used for the murder in Half Moon Street.
How do you know about that?
Mycroft.
Have you closed the case yet, Sherlock?
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Did you follow me?
Sherlock, it may seem that I used you, but you should be pleased to know that you have served our queen well, in this instance. So now, let us catch the big fish. But this man is not one of the merry men?
No.
Then why exactly are we here, Sherlock?
This gentleman, Charles Foley, has been involved in a double murder and the hunter of a set of valuable antiques, the Hellenistic treasures, which disappeared in a theft many years ago.
You're no better than the coppers.
Now open the safe.
Holmes, that is incredible. The Hellenistic treasures.
Indeed.
Nothing but trifles. Where are the merry men?
I don't know why you are asking me, Mycroft. They are yours to find.
I'll see you soon, dear brother.
Precious safe. The famous collection of Hellenistic treasures that was considered to be lost was found in the safe at Abandoned Manor in Notting Hill. So those two connect now. Hidden art. The antiques discovered inside the hidden safe of the Abandoned Manor at Notting Hill represent the collection of Hellenistic treasures that were stolen in 1885 and considered to be lost. Foley's Vengeance. Charles Foley organized the theft of the Hellenistic treasures, which was related to the double murder at Half Moon Street. Leighton Chapman was a witness to the crime. Absolve Foley. Charles Foley will be imprisoned for organizing the grand theft. Since he is not directly guilty of the murder, his sentence will be shortened. Charles Foley organized and executed a wicked plan of revenge with the added theft of ancient valuable treasures. He deserves the rope. I wonder if there's more to this. Let's
Don't move, you flimflammer.
What a beautiful collection of art.
No.
It was thought lost.
Well, I found all the clues, so
The trap with the chandelier worked perfectly. Charles Foley has been
Holmes, I had no doubt that you would catch the thieves.
one of Foley's companions. He is unconscious. One of Foley's companions. He is unconscious.
So there's nowhere I can go. Okay, so essentially it's either condemn or absolve Foley now. Is he directly responsible for the murders or not? So let's read those options again. Charles Foley organized the theft of the Hellenistic treasures, which was related to the double murder at Half Moon Street. Leighton Chapman was a witness to the crime. Charles Foley will be imprisoned for organized and grand theft. Since he is not directly guilty of murder, his sentence will be shortened. Charles Foley organized and executed a wicked plan of revenge with the added theft of ancient valuable treasures. He deserves the rope. Revenge, jeez. men probably just killed each other. So that's the moral choice I'll make.
Charles Foley, you were a witness to a double murder. You were standing next to Vercotti when Butler fired at your accomplice. The jeweler missed him, but they proceeded to kill each other with simultaneous shots. Even if your intention was to retrieve the stolen treasure, you did not intend to kill. I shall inform Inspector Lestrade of that fact, so your sentence should be the lighter.
You are a fine gentleman, with your fake pity.
I do what I think is right. It is never due to pity. Farewell, Foley. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
Ah, so there is more. Back at the circus.
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the New Lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No life shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
How do you see justice, then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people, sending them to their deaths in mines or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
Throw the cigarette into the water or into the powder trail. Powder trail it is.
When people fight the order, they are too blind to see the consequences that throw society into chaos. I shall stop your actions, but not you. Run. Now!
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite, lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
You would.
Yes,
Watson.
Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of, pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
His love and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men.
And the Empire needs order and discipline. It has no room for chaos.
People who commit crimes, or at the very least intend them, deserve punishment, Sherlock. Without justice, there can be no civilization.
But we serve the truth, not justice.
Your truth, Doctor, that may prove immoral. Allowing people to terrorize London, destabilizing the whole empire.
Terrorize only the powers whom you serve, Mycroft. Not I, not Watson, not Mrs. Hudson, not Wiggins.
Sherlock, the merry men are to be stopped.
Not by me. You created the merry men. Stop them yourself. Only make sure that you don't create 10 more merry men by arresting the one.
Good night, Dr. Watson.
Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
So it was Foley. I found all. So no doubt. Okay. Replay the ending. Just go through the various choices we have. Very interesting here. In spite of everything just done, we're going to go ahead and condemn chat.
Leighton Chapman, a long-held grudge against your acquaintance, Brian Vercotti, led to the dreadful murder in Half Moon Street. You killed Brian Vercotti and his companion, Kenneth Butler, with cold single-mindedness. The law will not tolerate that.
No, it's not true. I'm innocent.
It's all over now, lad. The clues speak for themselves. Now you'll have to face up to justice.
Mr. Holmes, but you promised to save him.
I promised no such thing. And that doesn't give you the Merry Men ending. shots. Crossfire. Innocence. Robbery motive. Let's look at that again.
Charles Foley, you committed the crime of premeditated murder and of theft. You will be severely punished for your deeds.
You are pitiful, you Scotland Yard dog.
Save your words for the gallows. I'm sure the journalists will love them. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs, honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street, and all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the New Lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No life shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
How do you see justice, then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
When the law serves only the few, it can no longer be trusted. Every man is equal, and he has a right to choose his own way. And I shall not stop him.
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
His love and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men. I should leave now. Sherlock, Dr. Watson.
Holmes, what just happened? What was that?
The start of a new world. Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
I'm going to go with absolving Foley and stopping the Merry Men from blowing up the London Stock Exchange. This will be my final choice.
Charles Foley, you were a witness to a double murder. You were standing next to Vercotti when Butler fired at your accomplice. The jeweler missed him, but they proceeded to kill each other with simultaneous shots. Even if your intention was to retrieve the stolen treasure, you did not intend to kill. I shall inform Inspector Lestrade of that fact, so your sentence should be the lighter.
You are a fine gentleman, with your fake pity.
I do what I think is right. It is never due to pity. Farewell, Foley. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the New Lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No life shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
How do you see justice, then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people, sending them to their deaths in mines or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
When people fight the order, they are too blind to see the consequences that throw society into chaos. I shall stop your actions, but not you. Run. Now!
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite, lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
His love and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men.
And the Empire needs order and discipline. It has no room for chaos.
People who commit crimes, or at the very least intend them, deserve punishment, Sherlock. Without justice, there can be no civilization.
But we serve the truth, not justice.
Your truth, Doctor, that may prove immoral. Allowing people to terrorize London, destabilizing the whole empire.
Terrorize only the powers whom you serve, Mycroft. Not I, not Watson, not Mrs. Hudson, not Wiggins.
Sherlock, the merry men are to be stopped.
Not by me. You created the merry men. Stop them yourself. Only make sure that you don't create 10 more merry men by arresting the one.
Good night, Dr. Watson.
Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
And that is the decision we'll accept. "96% of the people saw it the same way. Only 17% made the same moral choice. Personality ranking commiserative. Achievement unlocked. I never guessed. 66. Achievement unlocked. Guilty Brotherhood. Achievement unlocked." I didn't read what the last one was. So this is going to be an end credits. This is from the one where the abusive husband was murdered. Railroad train. No doubt Charles Foley will be imprisoned. He organized the theft of ancient treasures that rightfully belonged to the British Museum. In fact, his band was hired by the merry men who planned a revolution in London, but he did not directly commit the murder at Half Moon Street. You have decided that under such circumstances his sentence can be shortened. And of course that was the correct conclusion as to the outcome of the case. Casebook real quick. Okay. And so that takes us back to the main menu. I don't suppose anything else is going to happen here. guess that's it. Back to the main menu, and that will finish Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. I have 3 or 4 other Sherlock Holmes games, which we will start on next time. But in the meantime, thanks everybody for watching this. Whether you watched it live or you watch a replay later here on Twitch or on YouTube. And have a great night, everybody.